Hello there, internet dwellers. Welcome back to another video. Today we are reacting to Manticore, and we've reacted to Manticore in the past. Obviously, I remember some of my earliest reaction videos being the Monument Mythos, and that was probably my foot in the door when it came to ARG, analog horror, that kind of thing. Looking back, I have very fond memories of that series, and then obviously there was the House in the Ocean. Then you got the Ningen, which I watched one episode of. I didn't really finish that. There was a lot of things going on. I don't know if the Nixon verse is gone now. It doesn't look like it's listed here unless it's under the Monument Mythos. I don't think so. But yeah, they were really cool series. I really enjoyed them, and it looks like Manticore has been working on another series called Alternate American Folklore, and I think it's gonna have the same vibe as the Monument Mythos, because it's based in American history but kind of twisting it, so it's like unfiction. As always, guys, be sure to go check out Manticore. Their link will be in the description down below. Go like the videos, subscribe, all that good stuff. Just give them watch time, because that is what pushes them in the algorithm, and we always promote amazing creators on this channel. The thing Columbus brought. Historians note the Columbian exchange greatly expanded the ship jester's range. Now, Manticore has a very unique way with words, and this could literally mean anything. This could mean that the ship is called Jester, or the jester on the ship increased the range. I don't know what that means. Anyway, let's just jump straight into this and see what this new series brings us. There they are. Is that Christopher? Is that old Columbus? I hear Christopher Columbus was a bit of a dick. October 12th, 1492, Christopher Columbus arrived in, where was that? Guanahani. People say that Christopher Columbus discovered America, but there were already people living there, was there not? So it was kind of already discovered, but I'm guessing, as in like, this lot here discovered this lot here, in a way. So it wasn't, yeah, you know what I mean. He believes that he has reached the East Indies. Oh yeah, because back then, I think the map was just this back then, and they had this kind of idea that if you go this way, like in a video game, you will just pop out back through this way, or something like that. He renames the people he encounters. The natives. Indians. Oh, okay. The misnomer will live for centuries. They were just like, okay, October 28, 1492, 2 weeks later, Columbus lands in Cuba. Hey, forget about it. Columbus demands fruit to treat his crew's scurvy. Okay, I think what happens here, from what I remember in history, is that he knew that there was a solar eclipse coming, and he said, if you don't do this for us, God is going to be angry at you. He used the solar eclipse as an excuse to get what he wanted. And I think he also spread smallpox or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just spreading misinformation. I need to... 450 pounds for the 90 sailors. 30 pounds for the ship jester. What? £450 of fruit? Wait, why is the ship jester separate to the rest of the crew? Louis de Torres, Columbus's interpreter, relays the Taino, how do you pronounce this? People's reply. Taino? Who is the ship jester? Columbus laughs. He orders his crew to open the ship's cargo hold. Oh my goodness, what is that? The ship jester emerges. Oh my goodness. What are they doing with this dude? Oh, he's like, they call him all 480 pounds of fruit are provided. A Fort La Navidad is built by the crew. What, on the island? And in Cuba, 39 sailors stay behind at La Navidad. March 15, 1493. Christopher Columbus returns to Spain after months of... Wait, what are you up to, Columbus, eh? What's all this about? Months of doing what? Debauchery? I love the music that Manticore uses. Columbus reports a missing crew member. The Beast. It's not the Jester, is it? The ship Jester was left in Cuba. Who's this? King Ferdinand, Queen Isabella. The Catholic monarchs sponsor a second voyage to retrieve the ship Jester. How important is this ship Jester? Columbus is at the height of his fame. September 25th, 1493. 6 months later, the second voyage begins. Columbus leads 17 ships and 1,200 men. A new Jester? The newly appointed ship Jester fails to entertain. Is he thrown overboard? No way. He is forced to walk the plank. You know how, like, nowadays in comedy clubs, you know, you could potentially say a joke and maybe you get booed or whatever. At least it wasn't life or death at this point, you know what I mean? Like, if you failed to make someone laugh, you die. That would be insane nowadays. Christopher Columbus returns to La Navidad November 27th. La Navidad is found in flames. Who's this? 39 bodies are eventually recovered. The Taino people claim that the ship Jester helped stop a massacre by the sailors. Columbus does not believe them. Wait, what? After years of blank, and blank, Columbus sets sail for Spain. Bro, Columbus, what are you up to, buddy? The ship Jester remains at large. Oh wow, 1996, that's a freaking leap in time. 500 years later, France prepares its final nuclear test. It's gonna be like Godzilla. Fangataufa and Marora atolls. I'm so sorry if I'm Marora. It's not Scooby-Doo. A sunken ship is discovered moments before detonation. Okay. And the Jester was there too. The ship Jester emerges. It's literally Godzilla, guys. You mean he emerged after the nuclear explosion or just before? Here we go. So the ship Jester's still alive. It looks like an axolotl. September 24th, 1996. 8 months later, the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty is open for signature. Nuclear Test Ban Treaty.
Good afternoon. Today in New York, the United Nations General Assembly voted overwhelmingly to adopt the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty and open it for signature later this month.
All nuclear powers don't sign the agreement. There were 3 votes against the resolution.
There were the Indians, and I believe we can find a way for the Indians to have their security concerns met.
Is that real? Okay. Let me just quickly go back to what the description says as well. The Columbian exchange greatly expanded the ship Jester's range. What? The range? As in life range? Or like, how... What do you mean by that? So Columbus left behind this freaking 30-foot creature Jester, sorry. How do you do that for one? Well, I don't understand how you do that. I guess then this thing, the Jester, became like a guardian of the natives. And then there was like a nuclear test treaty signed just after they discovered the Jester in wherever this was, in the ocean somewhere. But like the Indians refused to sign. So what does that mean? They refuse to... They want nukes? It followed Lewis and Clark. I don't know who Lewis and Clark are. Maybe are they important figures? I should really research this stuff, shouldn't I? From a young age, explorer William Clark is accompanied by York, who is the same age but enslaved. Clark dreams of power and political office. Is that him dreaming right now? At a young age. York dreams of starting his own family. Decades later, President Jefferson chooses Meriwether Lewis to command an expedition through the American West. Lewis invites Clark to be his co-leader. Okay. To keep families intact, married men are not recruited. Well, that's interesting. Okay. But like, wasn't everyone married back then? However, Clark assigns York to the team. Okay, York's in the gang now. York must leave his wife. What? The expedition. Well, that's unfair. Well, there's a lot of things that were unfair back in these times. Lewis and Clark have difficulty speaking with Native Americans. York proves to be a highly effective communicator. Whoa! Is his head blown off? What the hell was that? Every tribe enjoys his wit and sense of humor. They find his presence healing and named him Big Medicine. Okay, that's interesting. Occasionally, letters are delivered to the team by traders. They are mostly sent by President Jefferson. They are mostly addressed to Lewis and Clark. One day, York receives illegible messages in a handwriting eerily similar to Jefferson's. He tries to destroy the mail. Eh? Doesn't work. No luck. York keeps the burned fragments in his satchel. Okay. Sacagawea, interpreter. She finds the expedition and approaches York. Okay, I'm just making sure I know who's who here. York was the one... Okay, who's Big Medicine? Show me. I don't know all that. Well, if you can read that, guys, good luck. That's like a doctor's handwriting right there. That's how they... Like, this is a happy birthday card right here from a doctor. Sacagawea combines the fragments. Once again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. Your president sent this. Now we must let it follow. What? Let what follow? Oh, the thing behind there, look, on the left. Is that the jester? Clark explains that Paper York is an inside joke between him and President Jefferson. Paper York. Oh my goodness. Don't ever smile at that again. It's his finest work since writing the Declaration. Sacagawea informs York and Clark is lying. That Clark is lying. Jefferson has sent these before. Okay. Jefferson sent what? Throughout the expedition, Paper York is given larger meal than York and Sacagawea. Paper York? Paper York. Lewis and Clark gift it. Clothes and jewelry. They even sing lullabies to it. So, what is this? A piece of paper that looks like a human. Once the crew reaches the Pacific Ocean, York decides to return home by himself. Right. Lewis and Clark are unconcerned. Sacagawea wishes York well. Okay, and what, he rides off. Eventually, York returns to his house. Oh, good. What happened? He calls to his wife. Is it his paper wife? Is this Paper Mario? She does not answer. That doesn't say that for those who aren't actually watching and just listening. No answer. York goes into their bedroom. She's making love to York, Paper York. She's having an affair. Put him through the shredder, that's what I say. Is there like is that a door? A trap door? What is that? What are we looking at here? A paper version of his wife lies in bed. You know... What? Guys, what's going on? Behind York, something opens the front door. What is it? Just get rock out. No, never mind. Scissors. Rock does not beat paper in rock, paper, scissors. Just scissor York walks in. Rock York walks in. Okay, hang on a second. That was the most confusing. So, alright, let me just try and find the chronological order of events. So, Clark and York are friends from an early age. Clark wants to have power. York wants to have his own family. In the future, Jefferson has a dude called Lewis go on an expedition. Lewis hires Clark. Clark brings York along. York's not allowed to bring his family, or like he has a family and he's married, but that's an exception for some reason. Like he's the only exception, and he gets shipped over there. He gets labeled big medicine by the natives over there, but then letters are sent by Jefferson, and one of them looks like the writings of Jefferson. So is it Paper Jefferson that sent Paper York? What is going on? Why are there paper people in this place? When did this happen? Why is this a thing? I take Paper York to be a stand-in for York's identity being superseded by the narrative Clark made for him in his letters. Clark becoming more and more enamored with this paper version, giving it more food portions, jewelry, and even singing lullabies is meant as a disturbing message of how the stories and narratives we craft around people tend to take precedence to the actual people. It gets to a point that York, a slave, is allowed to return home by himself across the entire continent, which shows to me Clark really didn't care about the actual York anymore. Not even York's personal life is safe, as he finds his own wife, whom he knows little about from Clark's letters, is turned into a paper version of herself, laying silently in bed. The narrative has completely taken over York's life. This is a metaphor for writing about a person in a history book, maybe. Like maybe who we know, who we learn about in a history book isn't the actual person they say they were, but we kind of put them on a pedestal. And so in this case, the actual York is listen to what I'm saying right now out loud, guys. This sounds insane, but this is what Manticore does best. It just completely taking something incomprehensible and being like, yeah, let's run with this. But it's interesting. So the actual York was allowed to go back home because Paper York was more loved than the actual York. And why is that? Is that because York, that people were writing about York saying, oh, he's a big like the natives love him, and like you know what? So that Jefferson wrote. I don't know, guys. My mind is blown. I don't know what's happening right now. But maybe more will be explained in the next video. Guys, before we go on to the next video, this is what the description says. Historians note, Paper York is not widely recognized as an official member of the Lewis and Clark expedition. I don't know. You know what? Let's move on. What the Pilgrims buried. So people have become completely enamored with York that Jefferson made like a paper version of, but this thing can live? Is it actually alive? Is it not alive? Is it just like, I don't know. This is so weird. It's such a strange concept. Here we go. So this is what the Pilgrims buried. The land of the Patouge is beautiful. I don't know if I said that right. With abundant corn and restless waters. Both are indispensable sources of hope. Here, Tisquantum, or Squanto, is born an anxious child. He is haunted by the fear that his existence will ruin the corn. This is some superstition right here. How is a baby thinking this? Or is he like a young kid at this point? A baby isn't coming through like, mother, I don't think this is good for the corn. I don't know why they would sound like that. Squanto's family reassures him, but the unease takes root deep within. His mother distracts him with a lesson on growing corn. So hang on, I don't understand. Why does he feel like his existence is going to stop the abundance of corn? Because it takes the three sisters, corn, beans, and squash, with fish as fertilizer. Oh god, that fish doesn't look... You what? Each one supports the other, like us. Okay. While planting, Squanto uncovers bones in the soil. Oh dear. And a fine white dust clings to his fingers. Uh-oh. He's about to be like freaking... What's it called? Symbiotic relationship? Symbiote. Symbiote? Is that what they're called? After seeing the remains, his mother speaks softly. You are a plague on us. Leave it. This is no time to dwell. Live now. Water will not wash away the particles. He's about to be taken over by whatever the heck this thing is. As the dust spreads from one hand to another, the entire village falls ill. Well, you know what? He was right. Squanto was right. His mother is the first to pass. Is this just like a metaphor for the smallpox? Overwhelmed by pain, Squanto sleeps endlessly. Endlessly? In his dream, he is kidnapped and sold to monks in Spain. That's a very strange anxiety dream. He takes on many jobs and learns new languages. Whilst he's dreaming, eventually his dream returns to the Patouge cornfields. Patuxet. I don't know if that's a j sound or not. Patuxet. When Squanto wakes, the village is silent. What are we looking at? What was that? Mother? Is that an eyeball? All his friends and family have been buried. By who? But the corn they planted grows strong. Some good old corn, and the ocean still churns. The pilgrims settle nearby. Squanto greets them in English. They say the plague that killed the Patouche has not fully passed. Wasn't it like them that brought the smallpox to these people, though? Isn't that true? In fact, it has claimed half of the Mayflower's passengers. Squanto leads them to the bones in the cornfield. This is the source. We must bury it deep. Oof. Oh my goodness, what the heck is that thing? What even is that thing? God, he's on the ass end. How did this thing poop? Is this like, is this it? The chimera? Is that how you say it? The chimera is a, okay, look. It looks kind of similar, chimera, but I guess that doesn't really look like a lion. But the chimera is a Greek mythological creature with a dragon's tail, a lion's head, and a goat's body. Is it this? It's kind of similar to that, I guess. It looks, yeah, very similar to that. They just casually found like a mythical creature. Pilgrims with woolen gloves deepen the grave. A feast is held in honor of the fallen Patouche. Patougette. Each one supports the other, like us. Okay. But what do you mean, like us? I'm trying to think what this thing is. It's a very odd-looking creature. Very odd. Historians note, Disquantum or Squanto passed away on November 30th, 1622. Squanto is the Native American thought to have taught the Pilgrims how to plant corn. The feast talked about is likely the first Thanksgiving, given that this video was released on Thanksgiving weekend. Oh yeah, it's like it's meant to celebrate the harvest, right? The harvest of corn, like an abundance. It's meant to be like a whole, like, with thank you that the earth has provided for us, or God has provided for us. I'm not sure which one it would be, but it's definitely in that vein. So is this all linked together, or are these like separate stories of history happening right here? Like, are they all different? Maybe they're celebrating different things, like Columbus Day, and then I'm not sure what this one's celebrating. I'm not really good with my American history. In terms of early American history, anyway, really early American history. I mean, technically, America wasn't America until 1776, but obviously it was still a continent where people lived until they thought, you know, we don't want the British anymore. Let's get them out of here. It crossed the land bridge. So I'm unsure if this is going to be like a story that all linked together, if it's like an anthology of different things happening in American history. We shall see if there's any kind of references to what's happening before, but here we go. I'm struggling here, guys. The Bering Land Bridge. Bering? 19,024 BCE. Forgotten things live here. Like what? People trust the stars. Well, yeah, to navigate the planet, that's what they relied on, the stars. A human attempts to cross the bridge. Oh, it's like a lantern. In the distance, it becomes flesh. What becomes flesh? Ugh, that's something breathing. What are we looking at here? Is that like a wolf? The distant sound of fire wakes it. It sees the human. Yeah, we're gonna have to look at what the event here was, because I think these are all based on events that happened. It crawls closer. It summons the stars. Summons them? The stars respond. The stars break apart the ice. Aliens? What are you talking about? Across the waters, there are other human witnesses. The Bering Bridge scenes. Cave painting circa 19,000 BCE. Like fireworks. Oh. Okay, so they did something there. Broke apart the ice, did they say? Oh. Is it the Jester? No, it wouldn't be the Jester. I don't think it would be anyway. It's 19,000 years ago. Okay, we're back to the Jester. Or not the Jester, but to do with the Jester. It crossed. Okay, so this is... Okay, talking about stopping nuclear tests, right? That's what the whole thing was. And then one of 3 countries or whatever didn't agree. And the Indians were one of them. I don't know if you call that a country, but it's like... Technically, America is their country. So I'm not sure what that means. But does this mean that the Guardian, the Jester, or whatever this thing is itself a nuclear weapon, that it can just summon like something that is the equivalent of a nuclear weapon? This sounds insane saying out loud, I'm not gonna lie. As of 2025, most of the Bering Land Bridge remains underwater. Let me just do a Bering Land Bridge National Preserve. Scientists once theorized that the ancestors of today's Native Americans reached North America by walking across this land bridge and made their way southward by following passages in the ice as they searched for food. Oh, so they walked from Asia to North America. This looks really nice. Where is this? It's in Alaska. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Look at that thing. There, that's the Jester right there. That's the Jester, guys. This makes the Bering... Hang on. It's right over here, which is... What? This just shattered my... This just shattered my understanding of the world. So these things... So, but Alaska... Russia and Canada, or Alaska, whatever this is Alaska its own thing? No, it's like Alaska's in Canada. And they're basically Canada and Russia basically touching each other. How long does it take to get from America to Japan? Oh yeah, I can see that's still pretty far away. But if you was to fly from Alaska, is there like an airport in Alaska? There's gotta be, right? You'd get there pretty quick, right? That's insane. I'm learning something here. I'm 31 years old. I didn't realize the land's basically connected like this. That's insane. When they were talking about the stars, The Crescent King came from the stars, right? So is it all gonna be connected? Like all the series are gonna be like in the same universe? Like all this happened within one universe? What the Seminoles thought. I mean, it's all connecting, guys, but very slowly. Nice. Where are we? The Everglades?
1685, European encroachment forces the indigenous Muskogee people to seriously consider migrating. (1724), derived from Spanish, a new label emerges for the Muskogee people who have been entering Florida.
A new label emerges for the Muskogee people who have been entering Florida. A new label? What do you mean by that? Wild rogues.
Seminoles.
Seminoles.
1775. The American Revolution begins.
Damn, it took 1 year. What is that? Just a horse.
The British manipulate the Seminoles into becoming obstacles for the approaching American troops.
Okay, wow. They just saw them as cannon fodder, basically. Is that the right term?
The unforeseen violence spares loyalist lives in the South.
So loyalists are like loyal to the crown, right?
The escalating bloodshed between U.S. troops and Seminoles concerns General Nathaniel Greene.
Okay.
1776. The following year, General Greene proves the local militarization of Florida wildlife.
Oh, so I was kind of right. It was the Everglades.
He names his war animals minute fauna.
Minute fauna. What the heck does that mean?
They are trained to strike lethally at a moment's notice.
Crocodiles? Alligators? Oh, these guys. Seminoles.
Despite heavy losses, the Seminoles endure.
Okay. So they were using alligators as weapons. Minute fauna, they were called.
1783, 8 years later, the American Revolution ends. Spain repopulates Florida. To promote settlement, the Spanish approved land grants for many, including
Seminoles?
displaced indigenous peoples, escaped enslaved Americans, defeated British loyalists.
Okay, so Florida just houses what, enemies of the state?
Of Pax Hispanica, Spanish peace, the Seminoles find and destroy the remaining minute fauna.
Okay, the minute fauna.
The Seminoles innovate.
What do you mean by that?
Meanwhile,
Whoa. They dressed themselves up as deer. Is that what I'm seeing right now?
Meanwhile, the Seminoles continue to shelter escaped American slaves.
Okay.
1813, while stationed at the southern border, General Andrew Jackson is angered by the Seminole protection of escapees.
Okay. He was the president at one point, right?
1816, 3 years later,
Is he on the...
Jackson invades Florida.
Oh my goodness. So is Florida seen as a separate kind of state at this point?
The resulting wars are hellish.
Jeez, I can imagine.
No U.S. soldier is prepared for combat in the swamps.
No. Kind of like Vietnam. Guerrilla warfare.
Minute fauna fuels escalation on both sides.
Minute fauna.
These are the same Florida skies that the dead last saw.
You know, I think of that quite a lot. When I look up at the moon, I think to myself, some caveman 10,000 years ago was looking up. Oh, hang on. It's all connecting again. Is this the... Andrew? Andrew, what happened to you, buddy? Andrew and Jackson. What? Oh, why did you do this? Why did you do this? They're just two different people. They're just hanging out. Stuck like a human centipede, but the reverse way round. They're glued bumhole to bumhole. Hang on. Is that what happened to Andrew Jackson when invading Florida? Or not invading, when fighting Florida? Or was that just Andrew Jackson this whole time? What is it with, like, finding these creatures, these things that are, like, two different things connected? One cannot live without the other, right? That's what they said, or something like that. Like, they fuel each other. Like, the squash, the fish, and the corn. They all, like, cycle, and they all kind of feed each other. In a way. I'm so confused. Hang on a sec. Andrew Jackson was the 7th president of the United States. He was okay, so this freaking thing here was a president. Is that what you're telling me? What's happening here? Love the unintended idea that this inhuman creature somehow had a former military creature and was promoted to general. Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. This guy was like, how are you going to even put a uniform on this thing? Well, people just, this is normal, was it? This is just completely normal. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but based off the order of the playlist, there seems to be an actual pattern with the titles. The Thing Columbus Brought, it followed Lewis and Clark, as in The Thing Columbus Brought followed Lewis and Clark. What the Pilgrims Buried crossed the land bridge. Could that be it as well? What the Seminoles fought horrified Abe Lincoln. It's like they're stories that are connecting here. Okay, that's an interesting theory there by Mirko. But the whole thing is like, okay, we don't know where these things come from. Like, are they just lying around this whole time? Or in this universe, is this just a normal thing happening where man and whatever the heck this thing is are just connected to each other? And these are what humans look like. Let's move on to the last video, guys. It horrified Abe Lincoln. Okay, this is the last video, guys. It horrified Abe Lincoln. So what's this, 1850? Is that 1840? I forgot when Abe Lincoln was president. I think it was the 40s, 50s. There he is. Look at that chin. I like to imagine that's not his beard, that's literally just his chin. I've got a chin like that, look. My chin sticks right out. It worried Abe Lincoln. He could have just wrestled it. Wasn't Abe Lincoln like 6'5" and a fantastic wrestler? Well, look how that worked out for him. Okay. Oh, Abe Lincoln loves his music. Music comforts him in peace, in war, in life. He believes.
Listening to melody, every man becomes his own poet and measures the depths of his own nature.
You know, no one speaks like that nowadays, guys. What happened? What happened to the English language? We've simplified it so much. It used to be quite flowery and basic, which is fair to be, say what you mean. But I think, like, simplifying the English language, obviously it's still around, but everyone used to talk like this back in these days. You don't really get it anymore. Music allows Abe to access the sublime, a rare feeling of awe. A higher state of being.
dead last saw.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, like, music is frequency, and if listening to a higher frequency of music can put you into a higher frequency, and a higher frequency is often represented with being like in a higher elevated mood, or, you know. So if you look at the chart of frequencies, the lowest is usually like guilt, shame, then the highest is like love, basically, like a high form of love. Music gives Abe a bird's eye view of his own life. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Music gives Abe a bird's eye view of his own life. Of the country? He frequently enters this state. So he kind of goes, what, like Doctor Strange? He goes out of himself and like just he can see above, like he astral projects. The ability aids the presidency and provides clarity during the Civil War. What is that thing? Ew. Why is Abe a big ass head all of a sudden? Following the Battle of Gettysburg, Abe vows to never listen to music again. Why not? Abe does not listen for nearly 2 years. Imagine not listening to music for 2 years, guys. Until April 14th, 1865, which I'm guessing is the day he gets shot, right? By John Wilkes Booth. Right, there's definitely more to this series, guys. There's definitely going to be a lot more to this series because there's still a lot more explaining to be done, for sure, with what the heck is going on here. You know that whole JBL meme that's going on, JBL speaker meme that's going on right now. Literally, this is what it is. Abe listens to music to astral project a floating head of Abe Lincoln blasting Fetty Wap from a JBL speaker. What is that ghastly sound? You look up, it's just a big ass head of Abe Lincoln. I mean, this is one of those incomprehensible things, once again, where they've taken reality, actual, like, real fact, history, and they've twisted it to be a different form of reality. So it's not non-fiction because it's not all not true. Some of it's true, some of it's not. So it's like based on reality but twisted. And I love stuff like that, where it's almost like a what if scenario. It's like, this happens, but what if they did this differently? And it's almost like looking at a different timeline of events of how things may have gone. But this is to the extreme, to the point where they're finding like freaking, I don't know, whatever the Pilgrims found, but they all seem to be connected. So the Seminoles fought what the Pilgrims buried, basically. But so the Pilgrims buried, but it was already buried before that, right? They, like, the Native American who found that thing, it was already buried. It was bone. So it was there before the natives. So it's saying that even before the natives, this thing was knocking about and it still has all these effects. I don't know. Who knows? Guys, leave your theories down below. This is one of those series that obviously it needs more videos in order to explain it properly. But, I mean, even with more videos, it's probably going to leave more questions because the concepts that are being presented here are so out there. And so, like, how do you even think about this? That's like, will it even make sense? Is there even a way of explaining this? It's like the whole thing of, if we could hear two lions talk English, we still wouldn't be able to understand them because they're so far removed from what we're used to. When I see, like, maybe over here, two scientists, I don't know where I am for this to be happening, talking about particle acceleration or the universe or whatever, and they're talking in like scientific terms. I'm like, I can understand the words they're using, but I can't understand the concept of the whole thing. Remove that times 100, right? That's what's happening right now. What the heck is going on? I always love presenting Manticore's videos. You know, I used to love watching their videos back in the day, and it's nice to be back. I've got that dread, that confusion that I always had back then, but it always has me coming back for more. So Manticore, keep up the amazing work. You guys go check out Manticore in the description down below. I will put the playlist for you guys to check out as well. If you have your theories, be sure to comment them down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think is going on here, or what the heck the Pilgrims found. Just seems to be like almost like an experiment at this point. Like something came down and was like, yeah, let's just put these two things together, like the human centipede. Like, let's just see what happens here. Or like, I don't know, there was like experiments in Japan, was there, in World War II, which was horrific. They were doing some weird stuff as well. But yeah, I enjoyed this, even though I'm confused. I don't know what's happening, and maybe my American history is a little bit off, but if anything, it makes me want to look at what was actually happening during this time, just so I can understand. Okay, I understand a little bit now, but I don't think it's going to help me, let's be honest. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.